Hello, I'm Matthew Dockery. Let me tell you a story about my little sister Winsey Dockery. Our parents are Matthew Dockery and Rachel Webb. Our four ancestral lines are Dockery, Stone, Webb, and a Dock. My great-uncle Thomas Stone signed the Declaration of Independence for Maryland. Matthew and Rachel married in 1801 in Richmond County, North Carolina. They spent a little time in Tennessee. They later settled in Madison County, Alabama. Winsey was born in Madison County, Alabama in February 1817, which is a northern county bordering Tennessee. Illinois was admitted to the Union as a state in 1818. Within a year of this, my family moved to Illinois for land and economic opportunities. We settled in White County, in a place called Fox River. Here is the 1820 U.S. Census of our family. It lists 11 people. In the 1830 U.S. Census we are in Lawrence County, Illinois. We still had 11 people living at our residence, although our parents had 4 more children since the last census. Our parents decided to move south. But some of our older sibling had already established life in Illinois. Here is a photo of our sister Mary who stayed behind in Illinois. The Great Raft or log jam on the Red River in Louisiana prevented exploration of the area, but when it was cleared the area began to flourish. In 1835 the land was bought by the U.S. government from the Caddo Indians. Since then, Caddo Parish and Shreveport have served as the gateway to the west. Caddo Parish, Louisiana was established in 1838. With European American development, the parish became a center of cotton plantations. Planters developed these along the waterways, with clearing and later cultivation and processing by thousands of enslaved African American laborers. Shreveport became a center of government, trade and law. By 1840, our family moved down to Caddo Parish, Louisiana. There are 9 people listed in our family with no slaves. We established a farming operation. Here is a recap of the 4 main places we lived growing up in the Dockery family. From Madison County, Alabama, to White and Lawrence counties of Illinois and then to Caddo Parish, Louisiana. Winsey grew up and got married on February 8, 1848 in Panola County, Texas. She married Leroy Bennett, who was born in Alabama. She was 31 years old and Leroy 30. Leroy Bennett was living in Panola County, just across the Louisiana border. Here is an historic marker for Panola County. Leroy Bennett had been living in Texas and can be found in the first Texas census of 1846. Texas just became a state the year before. Our father Matthew Dockery died in 1849 and the next year one can find this document where Winsey buys 88 acres in Louisiana. Winsey and Leroy Bennett settled down back in Caddo Parish, Louisiana in a place called Blossom Hill. Here is the 1850 census before they had children, which lists Leroy as a blacksmith. It lists that they own $1,000 of real estate. Winsey and Leroy had 7 children in the next 10 years. Ertzaniah, Lewis, Mary, Sanford, Dodie, Emma, and Elizabeth. Our mother Rachel Webb Dockery had died by this 1860. Slavery was becoming bigger in the community. Here is a receipt of sale of our brother purchasing 3 slaves in Greenwood. 1 male of 27 years old, and 2 girls of 13 and 12 years. Here is their 1860 census with all but Lizzie is born. Leroy is no longer listed as a blacksmith, but now as a farmer. Their real estate value was now $3,000 and their personal value was $500. Notice the Martins are living next door, which we share DNA with their family. In 1860, Abraham Lincoln, who opposed the expansion of slavery into new territories, was elected as the 16th president. Southern states viewed his election as a threat to their way of life, and one by one, they began to secede from the Union, including Louisiana. Civil War involved significant military and political developments on both sides, leading to 4 years of intense conflict that ultimately resulted in the preservation of the Union and the abolition of slavery. Leroy joined the Caddo militia in 1863 to join the Confederate Army. He is listed in Captain Bickham's company. Some called them the Caddo Lake Boys. Many believe the first and last breaths of the Confederacy took place in Caddo Parish. The last Confederate flag standing was here. Following the Civil War, little was left for Southern families to survive on. Racism was rampant, and in 1868 Bloody Caddo occurred where many blacks were killed. This Confederate monument was recently removed from the Caddo Parish Courthouse. Word quickly spread that Upshur County, Texas offered dense virgin forests and land that could produce far more than the old states, and Winsey and Leroy became settlers who came to Upshur County to build a new life in a new state. They said goodbye to family as they decided to move on to Texas. Here is a photo of our brother Blackman Dockery. Here is the 1870 census. They are living in the Coffeyville, Texas in Upshur County. Notice that they have 4 nieces and nephews living with them. Our youngest brother Alfred Dockery died during the Civil War years and Winsey took his children in as her own. Also note that it states that Leroy Bennett cannot read or write. Here is the map of the places Winsey lived after marriage. Panola County, Texas, Caddo Parish, Louisiana, and Upshur County, Texas. They enjoyed living in Texas, the Lone Star State. 2 of their daughters married into the Benjamin and Sarah Jones family, although Lizzie's husband John Jones died very young, so she moved back in with them. Mary Bennett married Robert C. Jones. Life passed on. In 1880, they were still living in Upshur County, Texas. They had one of our Dockery nephews living with them. Life was good in the heart of the piney woods of northeast Texas. Leroy Bennett, Winsey's husband, died in 1882 in Upshur County. Later on in 1899 Winsey applied for a Confederate pension for her deceased husband, which was denied. She was living in Glenwood, Texas at the time. Here is a photo of a Dockery reunion. Not many people are known in this photo. We like to get together and enjoy some family time. There is a chance Winsey is in this photo. In the 1900 census, Winsey was living with her son Lewis near Gilmer, Texas in Upshur County. Her oldest daughter Ertzaniah never married and was living there as well. There were 2 doctors living as boarders in the household as well. On November 15, 1900 my sister Winsey died in Glenwood, Texas. She was 82 years old. The census listed that she had 4 children still living, which I presume to be Ertzaniah Bennett, Lewis Bennett, Mary Jones, and Lizzie Eccles. She had 13 grandchildren. Also not much is known about my sister Winsey Dockery Bennett. Here legacy lives on in the DNA of her descendants and the people she touched. When Winsey's youngest daughter Lizzie died, they filled out the paperwork and wrote Quincy as her mother's name. My sister Winsey lived a good Christian life. She lived across America in Alabama, Illinois, Louisiana, and Texas. Thank you for listening to her story.